They should have never given us uniforms if they didn't want us to be an army.
The Handmaid's Tale, full recap. Welcome to Gilead, a land remade from the ashes of the Second American Civil War, where cities lie in ruins and highways have become checkpoints. The once free United States is gone, reborn as a totalitarian theocracy wielding faith as a weapon, reducing women to three classes: wives in blue, Marthas in green, and handmaids in red. And for the fertile handmaids, the only currency is the promise of new life. June Osborne, now renamed Offred, learns this lesson the moment she arrives at the Rachel and Leah Center. Today, we're diving into a full recap of The Handmaid's Tale Season 1. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with fellow movie lovers. The Handmaid's Tale introduces us to the theocratic regime of Gilead, where environmental collapse and plummeting birth rates have led to the enslavement of fertile women, handmaids forced to bear children for society's elite. Gilead is a patriarchal state built on twisted biblical doctrine where women are stripped of identity, rights, and names. We follow June Osborne, now known as Offred, her name signifying she belongs to. Her commander, Fred Waterford. She lives in the Waterford household with Serena Joy, Fred's bitter wife, Rita, the housemaid, a Martha, and Nick, the reserved household driver. June's only purpose is reproduction, enduring the ritualized rape known as the ceremony, where Serena restrains her while Fred attempts to impregnate her. On her daily outings, Offred is paired with another handmaid, Ofglen. And while they pretend to be pious, Ofglen subtly hints at rebellion. Their bond deepens. In one memory, June recalls her time at the Red Center, where handmaids are indoctrinated by the ruthless Aunt Lydia. There, she met Janine, once defiant, but later broken after being psychologically tortured and losing an eye as punishment. In the present, Ofglen reveals to Offred that she's part of a resistance movement called Mayday, and she tasks Offred with getting intel on Commander Fred. Not long after, Fred unexpectedly invites Offred to his study at night, an illegal act punishable by death. Offred arrives nervously only to find he wants to play Scrabble. Though seemingly harmless, this secret game signals the beginning of a strange and dangerous intimacy. Soon after, Offred's world is shaken when Ofglen is suddenly replaced with no explanation. We later learn that the original Ofglen, Emily, was arrested for a romantic relationship with a Martha. While Emily is spared execution due to her fertility, the Martha is hanged. Emily wakes in a hospital to find she's been subjected to female genital mutilation, a brutal punishment meant to preserve fertility while erasing sexual desire. June is interrogated about Emily and punished with a cattle prod by Aunt Lydia. Serena Joy steps in to stop it, hoping June is pregnant. When June reveals she isn't, Serena locks her in her room indefinitely. Alone and desperate, June discovers a Latin phrase carved into her closet wall: "Nolite te bastards carborundorum." Don't let the bastards grind you down. It was left by the previous handmaid who ultimately died by suicide. June pretends to be suicidal herself to escape isolation, and it works. Desperate to ensure a child, Serena secretly arranges for June to sleep with Nick, believing Fred may be infertile. A genuine connection begins to grow between June and Nick. The handmaids are later brought to the Putnam household where Janine gives birth. The scene is chilling. Janine endures labor surrounded by chanting handmaids, while Commander Putnam's wife, Naomi, simulates the experience behind her. Once the baby is born, Janine is cast aside as Naomi claims the child. The cruel detachment is unbearable. Fred starts to overstep further during the ceremony, unsettling Offred. When she calls him out, he deflects with a cold remark that some must suffer so others can thrive. The dynamic between them grows ever more manipulative. Nick eventually reveals that he is a government spy, but says he's on her side. While out at the market, Offred briefly reunites with Emily, Ofglen, now radicalized. In a powerful act of rebellion, Emily steals a car and runs over a guardian. She's captured, her fate uncertain. Meanwhile, foreign Mexican delegates arrive, and Gilead puts on a performance to show off their so-called success. Healthy children born from handmaids are paraded before them. The purpose becomes clear. Handmaids are being used as trade commodities, their fertility exported like livestock. Offred is asked to lie about her situation to secure a trade deal, but in a quiet moment with a female delegate, she tells the truth about rape, punishment, and imprisonment. The delegate confesses she cannot help but reveals that Luke is alive, giving June a spark of hope. Flashbacks throughout the season reveal the rise of Gilead. Fred and Serena were instrumental in designing the regime. Serena, a former author who pushed for conservative values, ironically becomes silenced and powerless in the very system she helped build. We also learn how women were systematically stripped of their rights, fired from jobs, Bank accounts frozen, voices erased. Luke's story is revealed. He was wounded during their escape but survived. He now lives in Little America, a U.S. government safe zone in Canada. There he receives a smuggled note from June. I love you. Save Hannah. Back in Gilead, Fred brings Offred to Jezebel's, an underground brothel where high-ranking men violate Gilead's rules. To her shock, Moira is alive, having been captured and forced into sexual slavery. Though bitter and broken, Moira secretly retrieves a package for June and later finds the strength to escape to Canada. Janine, emotionally unstable, is reassigned and told to undergo the ceremony again. She breaks, kidnaps her baby, and nearly jumps off a bridge. Offred talks her down. Janine survives but is sentenced to death. Commander Putnam is also punished, his arm amputated for having an inappropriate relationship with her. Then, Serena confronts June after discovering the visits to Jezebel's. She forces June to take a pregnancy test. It's positive. Serena lashes out at Fred, accusing him of infertility and questioning the baby's paternity. In a moment of cruelty, Serena drives Offred to see Hannah, but leaves her locked in a car, warning that the child's safety depends on Offred's cooperation and her pregnancy. The season ends with a harrowing salvaging, a ritual execution. The handmaids are ordered to stone Janine. Offred refuses. One by one, the others defy the order. Aunt Lydia, furious but unable to stop them without escalation, relents. That night, guardians arrive at the Waterford home to take Offred. Serena panics. Nick whispers to her, "Just go. Trust me." Offred steps into the black van. Her fate unknown, her voice concludes,
I have no choice, and so I step up into the darkness within.
And that's the end of Season 1, a chilling, emotional roller coaster that shows both the cruelty of Gilead and the quiet rebellion growing within. If you found this recap helpful, hit like, leave a comment, and subscribe for more. Stay tuned for our Handmaid's Tale Season 2 breakdown, coming soon.
Good evening. Dear? Now let's get started.